Hey, so I got a question about how to heal past hurts. Um, Here we go. I first. Let me preface this and say that there is no, at least I don't believe that there is a one size fit all solution for everyone who's been hurt, whether that be domestic violence, molestation, rape, whatever your situation is. I don't believe in a one size fit all. What I've done is that I defined it. I called it what it was. I didn't beat around the bush about it. Um, and then I had to accept it. I had to accept that this shit happened to me, uh, and move on accordingly. I didn't claim it over my life. I didn't let that be some badge that I wore as I went out into public. However, I believe in denying it, all that does is just continue to self mutilate, you know? So I'm not into that. So I just called it what it was. And then I decided to forgive. I forgave the people who wronged me. I forgave myself for not speaking out about it when it initially happened. And then I just looked at how it affected my life, right? Whether that be positive, negative. Some people see things differently. So, what I did was I looked at how the hurt that I was feeling was affecting my life. And then I just sat and thought about how I felt about it. And then I wrote about how I felt about it. It was very therapeutic and cathartic for me to write down what I was feeling so that I can constantly remind myself by looking at those words. I don't have a great memory, so to think about something right now may not be something that I can recall in 20 minutes. Hell, so 2 weeks from now, 2 years from now, yeah, let's see how that works. Uh, I decided whether I wanted to stay stuck in that pattern of pain, as I call it, or whether I wanted to move on to something else. Some people thrive on pain. I don't necessarily thrive on it. However, I will use some negative things in my life to propel me into a better place. But I had to make a decision about how I wanted to move forward. Did I want to keep being stagnant in this situation that I was in or move forward, right? So I decided to empower myself and educate myself. I read books, I went to seminars, and I wasn't really keen on therapy because I didn't think that it was going to help me because I had been listening to various stories and uh, conversations about different situations. Whether they were true or not, I don't know. But I let it affect me and keep me from going to seek therapy. And then when I did receive therapy, my initial therapy session, I completely lied. I lied because I didn't want to face what had happened to me, and I also thought that there would be some backlash for what I had been through. Right. So once I got past all of that bullcrap, I decided to utilize my resources. Once I really got serious about getting some help, I decided to use my resources. The self-help books were really great. I read a lot of them. But I wanted to pinpoint a resource that I could kind of have readily accessible to me. So I used friends, I used family, I attended support groups, I contacted medical professionals, I've sat on the couch, I've talked about my feelings. I have not been medicated because I'm not a fan of that because of the side effects. Yeah. So I choose a more natural form of approach when it comes to my rehabilitative process. That's not the same for everybody. It's just what I did. Um, I've been writing poetry since I was a young girl, and that is a therapeutic measure that I use. I didn't really know it was therapeutic, but come to find out, it's very, very helpful in my life. So I do that. I'm not an artist, but I can do dot. I can connect the dots, and I can use crayons. So I do that. Um, I am not a professional dancer, but when the music talks to my body, baby, I'm moving, and I don't care if it's to the beat. I don't care if it's hip. I don't care if it's in. I'm doing what the music tell my body to do. So that's what I do. I love music. I have loved it since probably when I could walk. My mother said that when I learned how to walk, I learned how to dance, and I learned how to run. So there you have it. I don't go to movies much, but I do Netflix and chill. So that is therapeutic. And that all together created a vision for me, right? All those things are things that I used to create my reality for what I wanted my life to be. And I consider my practical application is walking the walk that my mouth was talking about, right? I was putting my money where my mouth was. I was walking in the purpose that I saw for my life. I was trying to be the person that I had wanted to be, as opposed to just wishing for it, praying for it, wanting for it. There is work. I believe there's work necessary. You can pray all day. You can want it. You can wish for it. But if you ain't doing nothing to help yourself, it doesn't mean anything. So I can show you better than I can tell you. That is probably the best way I can tell you about practical application. It's the same as going to any school, whether it be technical, collegiate, elementary, whatever school you go to. You can learn everything you want to learn inside of a classroom, reading books, taking tests, writing papers. But until you practically apply that knowledge that you have received, to me, it don't really mean much. You just running your freaking mouth. And to be honest, you can just shut up. You got to do the work. There is no way around it. There is no shortcut. You have to do it. And I just try to focus on being the best me that I can be. I don't focus on being the best because I don't believe that I can be the best human being ever. I don't believe in that. But I believe I can be the best Claudetta I can be. Can't nobody out Claudetta like I can. You understand what I'm saying? I'm an expert on myself. So that is one of my main focuses every day. I believe that there are reasons for the changes that happen to me in my life. I don't necessarily understand all the time, but I do believe that there is a reason, and I try to search for the meaning in that, and then look for the positive as well. You can chuck 100 lemons at me, and I promise you I'm gonna open a lemonade stand. Because I'm not gonna be bogged down or walking around my life with that heavy burden of hate and discontent on my heart. I tried it, the shit didn't work. So I'd rather live not necessarily in the rose-colored glasses world, but in a realistic world where I will speak the truth that I want to see in my life into the atmosphere. And I will project that. And I'll do that for as long as God lets me live. And I will try to inspire and motivate other people to do the same. It does not mean that your life will be without pain. It does not mean that your life will be without any type of adversity, because it comes to the best people in the world. I've seen some people who I believe are some of the greatest people in the world suffer hardships. But it happens. And you have to decide how you want to move through that. And that's something that I've done. And I don't apologize to nobody for the way that I want to live my life. Know that. I don't owe nobody an apology for nothing. The last person that I was afraid of and I discussed my life to, or expressed who I was, or gave explanations to, is walking with my ancestors and God. That is my mother. She is the last person that I've ever done that to. Nobody else gets that from me. And as long as God lets me live, I'm pretty sure nobody ever will. So I would like to impart the words to listen to not only your head, but your heart. Listen to your gut, because it does not lead you astray. It tells you the truth. You got to listen even when it hurts. The truth ain't always pretty. It ain't always comforting, but it's always the truth. There is no deception in there. So just accept it, appreciate it, make a plan for your life, and move on. And remember that if a person fails to treat you the way that you deserve to be treated, with the appreciation and the respect that you command and that you give off, acknowledge that that is not your fault. That is their fault. And you ain't responsible for that. You're responsible for what you do with how they treat you. And when they show you who you are, don't make excuses for them. Believe them. Because just like I'm the subject matter expert on myself, we are all the subject matter experts on ourselves. Know that that is the truth. Acknowledge it. Acknowledge the behavior and change the dynamics of that relationships. However you feel you need to change that dynamic, change it for the better so that you can preserve yourself. Take care.